Hiring, HR, human resources.
HR, yes. It's with trepidation I talk about this because there's so many experts out there in this field. However, as a business owner, you've got to get it right, and people get very fearful of it. That's a big thing. They get fearful of it. They don't want to hire people, and therefore don't.
Yes, and that just creates complexity and challenges within the business in itself. So I think the first question we should ask, or maybe address, is when should we consider hiring or expanding the team might be the better way to tackle it, because I think a lot of business owners think about, well, I'm going to hire, putting on staff.
It's a daunting.
Yes, that's just a whole another layer of challenge within the business and things to deal with. You know, people are difficult. People are difficult.
We are, especially because we don't communicate so much, right?
Yeah.
So when to hire, like there will be gaps appear in your business plan to reality.
Correct.
And those gaps can be around the capacity that you've got.
Yep.
They could be around the skills that you've got.
Yep.
And that's, whether you're an owner operator or whether you've got a small team, but those gaps will appear actual versus what you've budgeted, what you've planned to get. Now, as soon as those gaps start appearing is when you're forecasting those gaps to appear, you need to start bringing people on.
Yeah, so the critical piece there is that they're actually doing the planning and the forecasting and the business strategy that's being put in place, but have the awareness to know and the self-awareness to know, actually, I can't know everything.
Yeah.
That's just too hard.
Yeah.
You need to have a helicopter view of everything.
Yeah.
But have the awareness to know, oh right, I need to keep an eye on this, and there's going to be some areas that, I need to fill that. So I'll let you continue now.
Well, if you, if you have some ambition and you want to build a great business and you want to have a great life, you need to get those people in there. If you've started this business because you're good at a particular skill, it's not always great to be staying in that skill.
No.
You need to get those people in so that you can start to get out and work on the business and run the business and build the business and scale the business. And so there's an old adage about hire slowly, fire quickly. And I call bullshit on that, and that I say hire quickly and fire quickly. Because the reality is you need to keep those people coming in. You need people coming into the business. Those people will bring energy, they'll bring skills, they'll bring capacity, and that's how I guess you build your business. You need people to do that, and unfortunately, you'll hit that ceiling as a owner operator. If you don't get those people in there, you will just keep bobbling along.
You'll stagnate, won't you?
You'll hit your ceiling, you'll come back down, you'll hit it again, you'll come back down, and you'll just spend your life doing that, which is really, that's not why you started the business, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I've always been a big believer in, if you're looking forward and that you're looking for opportunities to build a business, so there's tenders, there's opportunities, there's contracts, there's deals to be done with suppliers or potential, supply chain. Well, you need to think ahead. I can't wait till I win that thing to then put people on, because then you're going to be behind the eight ball.
Yep.
So there's ways to bring them in gently into the business. So there's casual, there's outsourcing, contractors, those sort of things. So it's not a case of I have to employ them. There's a different way to approach it, and you might come across somebody who goes, actually, I can give you this amount of time per week, and in the future it can grow. Well, how about you grow the team as the business grows?
Yep.
So that can be a really valid approach.
Look, you need to fill the void. So many people are waiting for all the business to come, and then we'll put the people in. So I think about it as, you think about the capacity of a pipe. So if you've got a certain size pipe, there's only so much water that can flow through that pipe.
Yes.
Now, of course, you can increase the pressure. Now, the pressure being you as the business owner.
Yeah.
Right, so then you do more to push more of that down. But what happens is if you build a bigger pipe, i.e. more capacity, which is more people in your business, then more water, more fluid can go through that pipe. And that's what you need to do in your business. Build the capacity, create the void so that you can fill the void.
Yeah, I like it.
And it's really important, not just in hiring, but in your business and in all areas of your life, is you've got to create that void so that things will come into, can fill that, right? And so when to hire is hire as soon as you see a gap will emerge either now or in the future. And hey, everything we've got to Navigate Biz is around planning, forecasting, looking out, right, with what you've got now, can you fulfill what you've planned in 6 and 12 months time?
Yeah.
And if the answer to that's no, you need to start bringing these people in now.
So I could hear some people thinking in their head, oh wow, well I could actually learn that skill, and how about I do that because it's going to be cheaper?
Yeah.
Well, in the long run, it's probably going to take you way longer to learn the skill to become proficient.
Yeah.
Is that the best use of your time?
Cheaper is almost never better.
No. So exchange those tasks that you can't do, you can't fulfill with somebody who can, and then you can put your efforts into income producing activities, and they're going to be a higher rate. That's going to be bringing the income into the business, is it not?
We talk about the value between money and time, and we talk about time management, and everyone's saying how busy they are.
Yeah.
I'm so busy. Well, you want to make time, bring more people into the business. That's, hey, yes, we go through managing your time and all the rest of it, but the easiest way to create more time is bring people in. So bring them in as soon as possible as you can.
Identify the gap.
Yep.
Yeah. So you can fulfill those goals. You can hit those targets you're aiming for and go for those contracts, those tenders.
Yep.
All those things. Build the business.
Yep. So once you've made the decision to bring someone on or people on, and I always recommend to bring a few on, not just one, because especially if you're new to hiring, if you've not brought many people on, if you don't have a lot of management experience, chances are you're not going to get the first one right.
Yeah, good chance.
So,
I haven't.
yeah, of course, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so often it's a good idea to bring on, maybe 2 or 3 and work out which ones are going to stay and which.
Because there's probation. There's a period of time that everybody is on trial. So let's go back a bit and think about, well, if I'm going to bring on people, what are the things that a business owner should prepare for? Well, you've clearly identified there's a skill set to be filled, a role or task to be performed. So you actually need to document or jot down, what do you want this person to do? Because there's no point bringing them in and they go, okay, what would you like me to do today, Joanne?
What's the role?
Yeah. What's their task? What is their daily approach to the day? Then also with these people, you've got to be willing to share the vision and the purpose, why this business exists and what you want this person to come along on the ride with. All those sort of things. So really spend the time to know, well, what do I precisely want this person to do? I just want them to answer the phone on reception. No, there's more to it than that.
Clearly document the tasks and then document what are the skills that you think are required to be able to complete those tasks.
Correct.
So many people hire a new employee into the business and then they go, that didn't work out or whatever. Often it's because you as the owner and the manager of that person haven't communicated specifically what the role entails, what the tasks will be, what your expectations are, not just on terms of quality, but in terms of the time you expect the person to be in the business.
Exactly.
We expect them to be located, and the skills that they need to bring to the job to be able to do it. You're hiring them not because you're the expert, but because you need those skills in the business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So with that also in mind, if you're going to be doing some preparation, I remember having a conversation with a client a little while ago. Her attitude was, if I bring somebody on, they'll probably get it wrong, so I'll have to do it as myself again. Hear that story all the time. And my pushback to them was, well, you clearly didn't prepare any guidance as to how this task was to be done. So a really great way to do that is we're using cameras today on a phone. So if you're doing a task that you know that somebody else is going to be doing in the coming weeks, well, film the damn thing. Record it on the screen.
Recording.
And that is the best way to get your procedures in place. And it's an easy way to, there's no long written documents. They can watch a video, rewind, replay, all those sort of things. And you can refine how you want it to be done.
Yep.
and prepare these things and just do it as you're going about your day every day. It's really critical because you can't expect this person, they might be skilled in a reception task, but unless they know how you want them to answer the phone and how the phone system works and all those sort of things,
Yep.
they're just going to be guessing and wasting some time and maybe pissing off some clients along the way. You know?
So that's a great point. And so there's two types of people that you're going to bring into the business. One type is someone that's coming in to replace a skill that you're doing, which is often great because that elevates you to be able to start to run your business. So you're bringing in someone that you can potentially train. They may not need to be as high a level as you. They may not need to be as high a level as you, but you are prepared to train them, or you need to be able to spend the more money to be able to get someone in that's highly skilled at that. Now, you need to use the context around what the market pays these people, not just what you get paid or what you think's the right money, but what the market deems these people are worth.
Be respectful of the skills they bring and what impact they're going to have on your business. If it's low entry point and you're going to build their capacity, reward them accordingly. Bring in great skills or high level skills, reward them accordingly.
Now, if you're bringing the other type of person that is not replacing a skill that you have, and you won't have the ability. Now, I use the analogy of maybe you're bringing in an office manager because maybe you're not so good at admin, maybe you're not so good at the finances. That is a situation where you need to bring in someone that is higher end on the skill level. Not someone entry level just because you can afford it. Recipe for disaster. Bring in someone that is high skilled, that can work independently, that's bringing in those skill sets that will actually be able to do the reverse. They'll be able to teach you about what's required.
Processes. So they're bringing a skill to create that layer of processes and systems in the business. So reward them accordingly. They will implement. You will tell them how you want to interact with clients. So what your best looking business looks like, they can then interpret and create the systems and processes that sit around that.
So in summary, you really need to match up how high or low in the skill level that person needs to be to fill that role. Is it a skill that you can train them and you can upskill them, something that you're proficient in? Or is it something that you're bringing this person in because you don't know so much about it and you need to go higher up the skill level? You will need to pay the person. So don't hire on the basis of what you think that you can afford. Hire on the basis of what you need.
So let's just quickly touch base on who should we hire. So we've seen these stories and the disaster stories of hiring the mate, the friend. Yes, you're trying to do a low entry point, just take some pressure off you. Somebody's out there that you know has been told that Bob can do this. Recipe for disaster. It's really approaching every hire, even our outsourcing, with the professional level that it deserves. Put them through the hiring process. Don't do these things for a favour. It is a recipe for disaster. Approach it professionally and with the best interest of the business in mind.
The easy option is almost always the worst option. So just because you know someone and that's easy and all the rest of it, that's not a reason to hire someone. So you need to go through and build a hiring matrix, a skills matrix.
Indeed.
So as we said, you go through the tasks that are required, the skills that you look for, and maybe create a top 5 or 10 things in there and start to rank these people. As you interview the people, start to rank them as to whether they fill the needs or how, 1 out of 5, 1 out of 10, what they are in each of these categories, so that you can go through clearly substantiating why this person is the right thing. And of course, not just the skills, but don't discount culture fit. Culture fit is enormous.
Values.
Right?
So important.
I mean, for the people that you can teach your skill that you've got, it's really important that you get the culture fit right.
And that's not just about liking the person. It's connection of values. It's having the open and honest conversations, having robust conversations, and building that relationship and capacity of everybody. The great news is that we've created a huge bundle of tools in the HR area
Yes.
that addresses all these pieces. So there's templates of how to write your ad, there's templates of position descriptions, there's all these documents that our clients can purchase, and that will give them, set them
all
up
the
for
tools and
success,
templates.
all that they need.
Yeah.
Take a
So
look at
when you're going through, culture fit is not about someone that you get on with and you laugh at the same jokes necessarily. However, it's about having, and oftentimes they'll be a completely different person than you are. However, it's about having the same values at the core, and that's a very different thing.
Indeed.
Not just getting on, but
Yes.
the same values.
Yes.
Right? So, so culture fit's important. So when you're doing that skills matrix, put a column in there around culture fit. Hey, it's in our template anyway, but if you're not downloading our one, then and you're creating your own, you've got to have culture there as one of those.
Super important.
Yeah. And hey, I pride myself, like a lot of the staff I've had in previous businesses, and even today, they've been with me a long time. I've had people work for me for over 10 years in different businesses, which and multiple of them, because I got people that had complementary, not the same, but complementary skill sets, and oftentimes completely different people, but their value at the core was just the same.
Well, you look at you and I.
Yeah.
Totally different people.
Yeah.
But very aligned in what why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
Super.
Yeah. Well, you're a lady and I'm a man. We're completely
There you
different. So, understand what the job entails. Now, if you don't know that, start to research. Google it. Like, oh, look, I need an office manager in here to do this or that. Okay, what does an office manager do? Google it. Look at it. What does it do? What is the pay scale? And don't just dive in for the low.
No. And the lovely thing, there's a lot of resources out there. There's so many platforms. There's Seek, there's Indeed, there's all those hiring platforms that, yes, you have to pay for the ad, but they've got an enormous amount of resources to answer a bunch of those questions.
So if we look at successful business people and what is a common trait on the HR front, successful business people don't look to hire the cheapest option. They look to hire the best person that they can get, regardless of the size the business is. We're not talking about once we get successful, then we'll start to go and get all the great people. No, they get the great people in on the ground floor right at the get-go.